Right, I'm very unsure right now, so I need you lot to settle this for me. We have just seen a last-minute winner, 3-2 at the bridge to Chelsea against fierce rival opposition in Leeds. The goal, the winner, is scored by an academy graduate. Chelsea through and through. I love him, Conor Gallagher. Now tell me, am I right or wrong to feel how I feel right now? And that is very much underwhelmed by that performance. But people, before we get into it, welcome back to the Joey Knight podcast. If you are new around here at the end of the video, please hit the subscribe button if you like the content and you want to see more from myself. If you are happy that we have progressed to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, do me a massive favour right now and smash the like button. Do you know what? Even if you're not happy, just smash the like button because it helps me out. It helps you out. Well, it doesn't really help you out, but it helps me out. So just do it. Let's get into it. Right, okay, so you can see the starting lineup on screen now that Mauricio Pochettino opted for, and what I would say before we dissect it too much and I give my opinion on where he went wrong with this starting lineup, we got to remember, man, we've just played 120 minutes at Wembley. You could see past the 90th minute into extra time, the boys were absolutely knackered. Now, that does say something about the training of this team. I get that we're flagging up with injuries left, right and centre, but do you remember before Pochettino came, we heard all that stuff about the Gayson test and about how Chelsea were going to be the fittest they've ever been? Well, I tell you what, we play one game a week more or less, and after 90 minutes at Wembley, we were absolutely blowing out our arse. And what that meant was there was going to be a need for rotation in this match. The rotation that was not needed was Robert Sanchez in goal. I'm sorry, but we didn't need Robert Sanchez in goal. Petrovic has not even been a first-team starter all season. Petrovic pretty much stands around and makes worldy saves. You know, Petrovic is not running up and down the football pitch. He's not covering 13 kilometres like Conor Gallagher did recently. And for that reason, he didn't need to be rotated here. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I believe Mauricio Pochettino really needed to have the confidence of being able to stick with his decisions here. You know, we've seen players not given an opportunity in recent weeks, like Mykhailo Mudryk. I've probably been someone that's, you know, not really been all that annoyed that Mudryk didn't get a chance, but Mauricio Pochettino has been brave and strong in his convictions to not have Mudryk in the team, but a player that cost a pittance compared to Mudryk, Sanchez, is straight back in there. A player who I believe, is a decent level number 2, but realistically, we've now seen he's not our number 1 between the sticks. So I would have kept Petrovic in there, you know. Other than that, can't really argue with it too much. You know, Levi Colwill put in a very good shift in the League Cup final. Trevor Chalobah now coming back from injury. I did think that he would start this match. I also thought that Alfie Gilchrist would start this match. Caicedo, Enzo, obviously Gallagher being rested from the start. And then the front line's very interesting, isn't it? Because when we saw it, I didn't really know how we were going to go with it. And then I realised Mykhailo Mudryk was pretty much playing in the number 10. Highest forward with Jackson, obviously Madueke one side and Sterling the other side of him. But how did the match go? Well, listen, I didn't like what I was seeing at the start of the game, you know. And if I'm honest, I get that these boys just played 120 minutes. It's a very hard situation. But my God, the levels of intensity were shocking. Leeds looked like they very much knew what this fixture meant, and Chelsea looked like they didn't, or they just looked tired. But Leeds were pressing from the first minute, and they just looked very comfortable, if I'm honest with you. And 8 minutes into the game, Chelsea are pretty much embarrassed after a defensive calamity. Robert Sanchez can't take a long goal kick for some reason. He has to play it short. He plays it into the feet of Axel Disasi. Again, an awful pass from Axel Disasi. He puts it to Caicedo. Caicedo can do nothing about it, man. He's got 2 men advancing on him straight away. He loses out, and then the Leeds forward, Mateo Joseph, nets the opener. This was a defending disaster class from start to finish, man. And as much as I'll rightly so say Disasi's pass was not good, it all starts from Sanchez. It all starts from Sanchez not having the ability to just get a ball up the field. And I get that we haven't got that much height in our team, but come on, man, we don't see Petrovic doing that. That's just that's the main reason for me why I just don't want to see Sanchez between the sticks. It needs to be Petrovic. But within a few minutes of this, Chelsea do respond. It's a goal made by Nicholas Jackson and finished by Nicholas Jackson. Really, both Madueke and Caicedo played the part in the assist and the pre-assist, you even call it that, but Caicedo is the one that threads it through to Nicholas Jackson, who's continued his run. He side foots in to the bottom corner, and I tell you what, Nicholas Jackson shows so many glimpses of brilliance. If he can rectify the holes in his game, and believe me, there are a lot of holes in his game, maybe it just levels itself out, and maybe he never does, but if he can do that, mate, he can go on to not only justify the price tag he was brought in for, but yeah, do real justice on it, because he wasn't brought in for that much, was he? After this, not too much in the way of chances. Madueke has a shot he made out of nothing, really. Ball drops to him on the edge of the area. Looks like he's not going to get out of his feet. He does. Wriggles past a few men in the box and blasts into the side netting. There was another chance in there for Sterling, but it wasn't really clear-cut or anything like that. One man around this time who did seem to be starting to find his feet a little bit in the match after being quiet at the start was Mykhailo Mudryk. And find his feet Mudryk very much did, because in the 37th minute he puts Chelsea 2-1 up, and this was a really good goal in my opinion, man. Malo Gusto, the source of most of Chelsea's creativity of recent, is out on the right-hand side. He sees the run of Sterling. He threads the ball through to Sterling. Sterling actually waits the pass pretty well, cuts it back. Mykhailo Mudryk, not much time, not much space. He's run into a tight space, so very instinctive, very good position-wise on his behalf, and it's an attribute that I don't often credit him with. A lot of people in the media, a lot of people on YouTube, myself included in that, have said that Mudryk's got that raw talent, but his decision-making isn't very good at all. Well, in this moment, his decision-making was very good. Instinctive finish, bottom of the net, right hand corner, past Mailer, nothing he can do about it. Side footed finish, quick in to the net, and at this point I'm feeling good, man. And I'll tell you who else would have been feeling very good. My good friend and channel fan favourite Josh Aveste, who, let's be honest, you lot probably know within maybe 10 seconds of that goal, he's texting me straight away, and he's actually demanding an apology from me. Because Mudryk scored against Leeds, who are in the Championship. Good run of form, though. Good run of form. Listen, I'm in the studio with Josh Aveste tomorrow, so we will talk all things Chelsea, and probably on his behalf, all things Mykhailo Mudryk. That was pretty much it for the first half. A couple of half chances there, but nothing really to speak about. Second half doesn't start badly for Chelsea. We're creating, but nothing too clear-cut. No chances that are really worth me talking about. And to be honest, although the intensity at this point has dropped out of Leeds' game, right? They're not pressing us as hard at this point. It's not as full on from Leeds. I would still say the game's around even, you know. And do you know what? At this point, Brian texted me and he said Leeds are playing some nice football here, and it's concerning, but I've got to be honest with him, they were playing some nice football there, and they looked the more comfortable team. There was a couple of times, weren't there, when the defender cut it back under pressure. Even the goalkeeper, Myler, at one point, I think it was Jackson advancing and pushing towards him, and he just chops it back. It's like we're playing at Ellen Road. There's no pressure there, and you know, when you're going on about who played the better football tonight, you might even side with Leeds, you know. 56 minutes in, there's a ball whipped in by Leeds. I don't know who whipped it in, but both Gilchrist and maybe more crucially Chalobah lose the runner, and Matteo Joseph gets a header at the back post. Sanchez is in no position to deal with it. Listen, would Petrovic have let it in? Maybe. I think Petrovic's starting position, I think he would have read the game a little bit better to know that ball was going to the back post. And yeah, man, listen, maybe Petrovic wouldn't have done nothing about it, but let's be honest, when Petrovic has just gone from not conceding in 90 minutes against Liverpool, putting in a really good performance, being one of our better players on the pitch, and then conceding that header to Van Dijk late on, you know, I can't imagine that he's conceding two here to Leeds today, but who knows? First one definitely doesn't go in if Petrovic is in goal, because they don't get the opportunity, and I'd back on Petrovic to save the second one. So once again, Chelsea have only themselves to blame. Very, very much an avoidable goal. Not too much really happens after that. Multiple subs. We're bringing on some of our more experienced players. You know, experienced in game time, definitely, but in age, definitely not that much more experience. And as we're going into the 90th minute, man, I'm sitting there, I'm scratching my head, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? Like, I don't know how long I can carry on backing Pochettino when it's like this. Like, Leeds are a decent team, and they'll come up and they'll play some good football next year, and they'll be a good side. And it's a testament to them. At one point, we were talking about Leicester in this championship season. Where have you been following the championship? We were talking about Leicester, and we were saying they might be the best side to ever come up from a championship. Listen, they don't even definitely finish top now. Leeds are on a right run, and they beat Leicester the other night. So Leeds are a decent team, man. But the Chelsea of old, I get you can say we're not the Chelsea of old, but the Chelsea of old would have showed a real reaction in this match. And maybe I'm going overboard. Maybe we did show a reaction. A 3-2 win with a last-minute winner, man. Maybe I'm ungrateful. I should be a little bit more happy at this. But I'm very much of the opinion that we needed to beat Leeds tonight. We did, and we need to get 3 out of 4 wins in our next few games. We need to beat Brentford. Need to beat Newcastle. 2 out of 3 wins, I should say. Arsenal, I can accept if we lose there. But listen, I haven't covered the last goal. Conor Gallagher, he's come on the pitch by this point. He knows what this match means. He definitely does. Enzo threads the ball through to him. He takes it on a turn, takes it into the area, and blasts it past Mailer. I'm so happy, not only for Gallagher, but also for the fans up there tonight. You know, cold February evening. They deserve something. The away support's been immense recently. And, something to give the fans something to cheer about. But let's dissect the performance as a whole a little bit. Not good, man. Not good. Do you know what? I get a lot of love on the channel for seeing the positive side in things. And I often do try and see the positive side. Maybe it's just the way I'm wired up. I often do see the positive side. But I just don't think that in a game where we've scored a last gasp winner, I've ever felt more deflated. Maybe with more questions than answers. It could do good things for our confidence. And my God, we needed it. But am I looking at that and going, okay, we saw enough there to now go into the next game and be really, really competitive against Brentford? I don't know we did, man. I really don't know we did. Who impressed me today? Malo Gusto always impresses me. I thought Caicedo was good. A lot of people might give him a bit of stick about that first goal, but he could do nothing about it. It was sort of Disasi's fault and a consequence of having Sanchez on the pitch. That would be my interpretation to it. But listen, what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber. So, Enzo, not bad. I thought Mudryk, you could probably put a little compilation together of some of Mudryk's work and it looked very good. Sort of half decent in that number 10, you know. But again, it comes down to the intelligence and reading of the game that I think he lacks. And I think for that reason, he gives us an attacking threat in the 10, but not a creative threat. If anyone sees where I'm going with that. Like, I can't see him getting many assists in that number 10, but I can see him getting on the score sheet every now and again, so depends what you like, really. Horses for courses. One thing I do know, and this is a point I'm going to steal off Jacob from the kickoff, he texted in the group chat earlier, and he said, like, from now to the end of the season, if I'm a Chelsea fan, I want to see Mudryk instead of Sterling, and I'd probably agree with it, you know, but I'm not sure how strongly I'd agree with it. For me, I spoke about this with Joel Bear earlier. Sterling's probably peaked now. Can he still give us good moments yet? Can he still put in good performances yet? Will he get goals and assists yet? Not to the extent that we would need him to be getting them to propel us up the league or to really do any damage in this Premier League season. But he can get them. He can get them there. But a player wrong side of his 20s, probably coming towards the end of his time at Chelsea, or a prospect that we bought in for big money. He looks like a raw talent, looks more raw than talented a lot of the time, but in today's match done well. If we can only give the minutes to one of them between now and the end of the season, in a season which, let's be honest, probably done. We're in the quarterfinals now, but let's see. Let's see. I would probably like to see Mudryk given more minutes than Sterling going forward. But I'd very much like to know what you guys think about that. What do you think? What do you think about Mudryk's performance today? Who have we got in the next round? It's Leicester, isn't it? We've got Leicester. Should be good, man. Should be good. I think Leicester are one of the only relegated team from last season that we actually done the double over. I was at the first match. I think Conor Gallagher got sent off in that match. Second match was a real shock because we were playing awful at the time and we done them 4-1. By that point, they had started to slide a little bit though. So listen, Leicester at the Bridge, that would be perfect, absolutely perfect, because there's there's still some big hitters in this tournament. You want to avoid Man City at all costs. Newcastle have got them, so one thing we do know is a decent side will be going out. Just checking the scores now. Liverpool are 3 up, so they're through to the next round. Man United next to the through to the next round. So yeah, man. We listen. In my opinion, regardless of whether Leicester are good or not, we should be in the semi-finals now, and that's another trip to Wembley if we beat Leicester. So, listen, man, if we're in the semi-finals, I'll definitely be there this time. I couldn't get to the final this time round because of my fight. Got a fight coming up, and if I go to Chelsea, man, I'm either just getting pissed for the enjoyment of it or drowning my sorrows if we don't play too well. So I can't go there if I'm not having a drink, but. Yeah, man, very, very happy that at least we're through. At least we've got something to play for the rest of the season. Do I need to see more from Poch? 100%. 100%. My real judgment on whether I want Poch here next year or not will probably come over the next couple of games. Listen, I can take us losing to Arsenal. I'm a realist, man. I am a realist. Like, I know where we are. I know where they are. They're pushing for a title. We're not even in the top half at the minute. So I can take that. But if we don't put performances in against Brentford, against Newcastle, and most importantly for me, against Man United at Stamford Bridge, a match that I will be at after that Arsenal game, then I don't know, man. I don't know whether I'll persevere with this or not. But let's see. At least for now, I'm not Poch out. I'm just Poch. Yeah. Let's see. People, let me know your thoughts on the game. What did you think of it? Am I being negative here? Because usually, listen, I've had like the positivity police thrown at me in the past and whatnot. But I've got to be real with you on how I'm thinking. I can't just be positive if I don't feel that positive about it. I'm buzzing we got a win. I'm very happy. I'll sleep easy tonight. But I think a lot was left to the imagination tonight. And we're going to have to be more convincing in matches going forward, you know. Brentford will put up a harder fight than Leeds did tonight, I would imagine. Especially, especially away from home. So let's see. People, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, smash the like button on the video. Me and Josh Avesta are in the studio tomorrow, so if you want anything answered, get in the comment section. I'll try and read through as many of them as I possibly can before I go to bed tonight. Thanks for joining me. I will see you all in the next one.